8 hours. His leg crushed. Only a knife of light from the cave mouth slices the dark. A sound threads through the silence, soft padding, deliberate. Something is moving toward him out of the black. Amber eyes flicker in the dust, tufted ears. A silent, heavy-bellied bobcat materializes from the dark. She presses her nose to his collar and inhales. Whiskers brush his neck. Her stillness is heavy with intent. Teeth clamp on the fabric. She hauls backward, dragging him. The rock shifts, a fresh bolt of pain. His hand lifts, trembling. Fingertips graze the ragged notch in her ear. A scar he cannot place. His lips form silent syllables. 4 of them. The sound is swallowed by the scrape of his body over stone. 2 days earlier, sunlight instead of shadow. Daniel Reeves walks the ridge trail, free and untroubled. He hasn't crossed this section in years. The scree is loose. The limestone holds a hidden fracture. His boot hits a slab at the wrong angle. Stone tilts. The sky cartwheels as the earth opens beneath him. He plunges 12 feet before rock catches his body with a wet crack. Dust chokes the shaft of light. Dislodged stone slides after him. A slab the size of a backpack lands across his shin. Bone grinds.
Move. Move now, or you die here.
He drives both palms against the rock. His fingers scrabble for purchase in the grit. The stone does not budge. His shout caroms off the narrow walls, swallowed by limestone. The silence that follows is absolute.
No one knows you are here. No one even knows you went out.
He rips the phone from his pocket. The screen glows. No service. The words pulse like a verdict. The blade of light thins to cotton thread blue. Dust settles. The cold rises through the rock into his bones. Daniel Reeves is pinned in the dark. Alone. With nothing but a broken leg and a slowly closing window of light. The first sunrise barely reaches him. He tilts his water bottle upside down. 2 drops hit his tongue. Then nothing.
There's moisture on the wall. Condensation. It's not much, but it's something.
He presses his tongue to the limestone. The taste is chalk and iron. He licks again and again and again until his mouth is raw.
Is that a voice? Number? It's just the blood in your ears. Stay awake.
By the second night, the darkness breathes. Shadows pull into shapes, faces he almost recognizes, then dissolve.
If you don't make it, leave something. Anything.
He tears a page from his trail log. The pencil lead snaps twice before he can write. If you find me, tell my sister.
You came out here to clear your head. Now you are going to die with it full of everything you never said.
His thoughts fracture. The cold is no longer cold. The pain becomes a distant pulse. He lets his eyes close. Somewhere beyond the chasm of rock, the sky turns again. He does not know if it is the second morning or the third. A low rumble threads under the silence. Not rock settling, but something alive. A purr, deep and rhythmic.
That sound. It's like an engine, but softer. A pour out here. Impossible.
He forces his eyes open. The air swims. A ghost of tawny fur drifts at the edge of the darkness, too solid for a hallucination. The shape solidifies. A heavy-bellied bobcat lowers her head and presses her nose to the collar of his jacket. She inhales, long and slow. Her teeth find the fabric. She braces, hauls. His body grates forward an inch. The pain is a white flare, but the light, actual light, grows wider. She pulls again and again. Drag marks streak the dust. The rumble in her chest never stops, a steady, determined purr.
Keep going. Whatever you are, keep going.
The passage narrows, then ruptures into a cathedral of light. She lurches through the opening and into the forest floor. She stands over him, panting. For the span of 3 deep breaths, amber eyes meet his fading consciousness. Then she turns and limps into the tree line. Darkness reclaims him. The last thing he hears is the sound of his own whisper, lost in the rustle of leaves. A hiker reported hearing a faint cry. By the time rangers reach the slot cave, Daniel has been lying at the mouth for hours. Ranger Sarah Mitchell drops to her knees, pressing fingers to his neck. His pulse is thin, but it's there.
The Bobcat. She pulled me out. She was pregnant. She dragged me all the way to the light.
He's delirious. Get him on the stretcher. We need to move.
As the helicopter lifts off, Sarah walks back to the cave. Her flashlight catches long furrows in the dust, drag marks from deep inside. Snagged on a rock, a tuft of tawny fur, black-tipped. Bobcat. The drag direction matches the tear in Daniel's collar.
Drag marks that distance. With a human, it's not possible. But the fur doesn't lie.
48 hours later, in a sterile hospital room, Daniel opens his eyes and finds the ranger waiting.
Mr. Reeves, you told my team a bobcat pulled you from the cave. Can you tell me more?
She did. I know it sounds insane, but she had an ear notch, and she remembered me.
2 days later, Sarah returns carrying a printed photo from a trail cam, a pregnant bobcat, caught 3 miles from the cave.
A biologist pulled it from the grid. She was photographed heading toward the Slot Canyon 2 days before your fall.
That notch in her ear. I've seen it before. Not just in the cave, somewhere else.
It's distinctive, a clean V-shaped tear. But Daniel, a bobcat doesn't just haul a grown man. Not unless there's a reason.
She's right. It's impossible. But that notch, it's like a word on the tip of my tongue. Why can't I remember?
He traces the ear's silhouette with a trembling finger. The shape is burned into his memory, but the story attached to it remains dark.
Can you leave this with me? I need to look at it. Something's there, just out of reach.
Sarah nods and steps out. The door clicks shut. Daniel is alone with the photograph and the growing weight of a half-forgotten debt.
I've seen this animal before. Not in the cave. Years ago. But how?
He closes his eyes, and the image stays, the V-shaped notch pulsing like a flare. A memory scratches at the door of his mind, refusing to be let in. 2 years earlier. Same ridgeline, same early autumn light. Daniel Reeves hikes alone. The trail empty, the air still. A faint thrashing cuts through the birdsong, metal scraping stone. He follows the sound off trail into a thicket of sumac. A juvenile bobcat hangs by her neck in a wire snare, eyes bulging, paws pedaling air. A clean V-shaped tear already cuts her left ear.
Easy now. Easy. I am not going to hurt you. Just hold still.
He works the wire cutters under the snare, fighting the tension. The metal parts with a snap, and the bobcat crumples gasping into the leaves. She staggers up, wobbles, then bolts. 20 yards away, she stops and looks back. A long, unblinking stare. Then she vanishes into the brush. Daniel pulls out his phone. His hands are shaking. He posts the photo with 2 words, "Free again." Then he pockets the device and hikes on. The post gets 3 likes. He forgets it by sunset, but the bobcat does not forget. She carries the scar and the memory. 2 winters, 2 mating seasons, until she is heavy with new life and crosses his scent on the wind. She follows it down into the dark, where a man lies broken, and she does what instinct and memory together demand. His fingers move before his mind catches up. He opens Instagram, scrolls back through 2 years of forgettable posts. Then the photo fills the screen. A juvenile bobcat, wire mark red around her neck, a perfect V-shaped tear in her left ear.
Number. No, that's impossible. That's the same Notch. She was just a juvenile. She wouldn't remember.
He pinches the screen, zooming until the jagged ear notch presses against the edge of the frame, identical to the trail cam print.
Sarah, it's Daniel. I found something. Get a wildlife biologist to my room. Right now.
An hour later, Dr. Lydia Evans steps through the door, graying hair, field vest, a tablet already glowing with the overlaid images.
Ranger Mitchell sent me the photos. I've been comparing biometrics for the past 20 minutes. The ear notch morphology is striking.
She turns the tablet toward him. 2 images, years apart, merge into one, the V-shaped notch aligning like pieces of a puzzle.
She knew me. All this time, 2 years, and she found me in the dark. How is that possible?
Dr. Evans clears her throat. She needs official measurements before she can say it aloud, but the truth is already written in the silence.
I've run the measurements 3 times. The notch angle, the curvature, it's a 99% match. This is the same animal.
The words hang in the air, heavier than the beeping monitors. Daniel's mind races, struggling to accept the impossible.
Bobcats possess long-term social memory. She likely recognized your scent, associated it with safety, and when she found you trapped, she acted.
She came for me. 2 years. And she carried that kindness until she could return it. And I forgot her.
She was heavily pregnant. The effort of dragging you likely triggered her labor. It's remarkable she had the strength.
While I was lying there, she was fighting to pull me out and giving birth somewhere in the dark, alone, because of me.
He presses a fist to his mouth. The weight of a life owed settles on his chest like the rock that pinned him in the dark.
What do you do with a debt you can never repay? How do you honor something that shouldn't even be possible?
Dr. Evans sets a hand on the bed rail, her voice softening. Mr. Reeves, in 30 years of field work, I've never seen reciprocity like this. Daniel doesn't answer. He stares at the photographs, a man suddenly aware that his life now belongs to something wild and beyond measure. Weeks pass. Daniel's leg knits, but his mind stays pinned in that slot of darkness. He reads everything he can find on bobcat behavior.
They den in caves. The same caves they use as escape routes. She would have needed a safe place.
He calls Sarah. His voice is steadier than it's been since they pulled him from the cave mouth.
Sarah, I'm going back to the cave. There might be signs she gave birth there. I need to see it.
Daniel, you are still on crutches, and that cave is unstable. Let me send a trained team.
Number. This is between her and me. I owe her that much. I'll go when I am ready.
Then at least take a satellite radio, and I'll be waiting at the trailhead. You don't walk into that dark alone again.
He doesn't argue. Some debts demand to be faced without witnesses. But the ranger's worry mirrors his own.
If she had her kittens in that cave, something remains. I have to know.
Another week. The crutches lean against his closet. Daniel packs his gear and drives to the ridge where his old life ended. He leaves the radio at the trailhead and walks the half-mile to the cave alone. He ducks under the low ceiling and crawls into the dark. His flashlight slices through the dust, exactly as the sun did weeks ago. The main chamber gives way to a narrow fissure he never noticed, a passage worn smooth by years of pause. He squeezes through, heart hammering against his ribs, already knowing what he'll find. At the end, the beam lands on a flattened depression in the dirt. Fur, dried grass, the unmistakable scent of afterbirth. He picks up a tuft of spotted kitten fur, impossibly soft, still carrying the musk of new life. Beside the nest, a tiny paw print pressed into dried mud, smaller than his thumb.
She gave birth right here. After dragging me, she was in labor, and she still came back for me.
He places a smooth stone in the center of the nest, a marker, a promise not yet spoken. Then he sinks against the wall, head bowed, The weight of a debt no money can settle presses him into the dark. After a long silence, Daniel pushes upright. The stone he placed gleams in the flashlight beam, a covenant left in the dark. He crawls back through the fissure, movements deliberate, sealing a vow. Daylight stings his eyes when he finally stands. At the trailhead, he ignores the ranger's glance and pulls out his phone. He dials Dr. Evans with steady fingers.
Dr. Evans, I found the den. She birthed her kittens days after saving me. How do I protect her territory?
The best way is a wildlife corridor, connecting habitats. It gives bobcats safe passage, but it requires land, lawyers, time. If we acquire the parcels between the ridge and the river, her lineage could thrive. It won't be cheap.
Cost doesn't matter. I'll pay for every acre. Start the process. I'll sign anything.
3 seconds of silence. Then Dr. Evans says, "I'll call the Conservation Trust tonight." Daniel ends the call and stares at the ridge. The corridor arcs in his mind, a lifeline carrying her debt forward.
This isn't repayment, it's honor. She gave me my life. I give her safe ground.
Months pass. Signatures, surveys, stakes driven into soil. Daniel's bank account empties, but each acre feels like oxygen. Crews sink posts into mountain soil, hoisting wooden signs that bear the silhouette of a bobcat. The corridor carves its name into the land.
What this man has done ensures her species will walk these ridges for generations. This corridor is a living repayment.
Daniel takes the microphone. The words he rehearsed scatter, like startled birds, replaced by raw truth.
She gave me my life. This is the only way I can give something back. It's not enough. It never will be.
A reporter's question cuts through the thin applause. "Have you seen her again?" The room goes still.
Not yet, but I'll wait. She waited 2 years for me.
The crowd is silent. Cameras flash, capturing a man whose eyes still carry the cave's darkness. The corridor is open. Trail cameras go live. Now the wild has to answer.
Now I wait. Not for a debt to be repaid, but for proof that she survived. That her kittens walk safe ground.
Days thicken into weeks. He checks the camera feeds every morning, then every Saturday. Deer, raccoons, a single coyote. No bobcat. He walks the corridor at dawn, scanning for tracks. The earth is mute.
Maybe she's gone. Moved territories after the birth. Or maybe the coyotes found her.
He funds 4 more cameras. A biologist reviews the data. No notch-eared bobcat anywhere on the grid.
The corridor's perfect on paper. But without her, it's just a monument to what I couldn't repay.
Friends say he's done enough. "Move on, Daniel." He nods, but his phone never leaves his hand at dinner.
She didn't give up when she was dying. I am not giving up now. I'll wait.
An ice storm rips through. A tree branch takes out camera 3. He hikes up with a replacement, fingers numb, refusing to let a single eye close.
2 years, she carried that kindness. I can carry this hope a little longer.
One morning, a chime, not a text, a trail cam alert. His hand hovers over the notification. He taps the alert with a thumb that hasn't trembled since the hospital. The image loads slowly, each pixel a verdict. Night vision green resolves into tawny fur. A heavy-bodied bobcat leads 2 half-grown cubs along the corridor's edge. Her left ear catches the infrared, a clean V-shaped notch. Same angle, same cat.
You are alive. You made it. They made it.
His shoulders drop. A sob comes out, half laughter, half something older. He hasn't cried since the cave. A second photo arrives. One cub turns and stares directly into the lens, eyes wide, unafraid.
That's her lineage. Those eyes are hers, looking back at me.
And then, like a wave collapsing, the cave floods back. The purr, the teeth on his collar, his lips moving.
I said something to her. In the dark. 4 words. What were they?
The whisper hovers at the edge of memory, not yet heard, but no longer silent. He doesn't call Sarah. He doesn't tell Dr. Evans. He drives back to the ridge alone. In the last hour of daylight, the cave mouth opens before him like a wound that never closed. He stops 3 feet from the entrance, and then the memory doesn't knock, it shatters. He is back in the dark, teeth on his collar. His own voice rising from a place below thought.
I know you.
The words float up from 2 years and 2 days of forgetting, recognition before reason, a greeting from the part of him that remembered everything. He sinks to his knees on the scree. The syllable count matches the V-shaped scar. His unconscious mind had read her ear like a signature before his eyes could open.
I knew her. Before I knew anything else. Some part of me knew her.
He weeps without sound, not for the pain of the cave, but for the terrifying mercy of a wild animal who refused to forget a debt he himself had buried. When he finally stands, the light is gone. The stars look down like the eyes of kittens. He speaks the words aloud into the darkness, not to her, but to the space between worlds. I know you. And for the first time, the whisper is heard. Back in his apartment, Daniel opens the trail cam file again. The cubs have grown in the weeks since. Her ear notch hasn't changed.
She knew me before I knew myself. Her trust reached across 2 years, and my mind couldn't catch up.
He scrolls back to the Instagram post, the juvenile bobcat with wire marks on her neck. He saves that image too. A week later, both photographs arrive from the printer, one in color, one in grainy night vision green. He frames them together. The old Instagram post has amassed comments now, thousands of them. This is the one. He saved the bobcat, and she saved him back.
The debt isn't mine to repay. It's mine to carry forward. That's all she ever did. Carry it.
He hangs the frame on the wall beside his hiking gear. 2 bobcats, 2 rescues, 1 unbroken thread.
I know you.
3 words that began in a cave now live on his lips. Not a goodbye, a namesake. A recognition that outlasts rescue. The corridor camera blinks in the forest. The bobcat walks it with her cubs. The debt is not settled, it multiplied. The trail cameras stitched together, a chronicle of growth. Cubs wobble, then stalk. Their mother's ear notch never changes. By autumn, their spots have faded into tawny coats. They hunt as a unit, the corridor their inheritance.
Since the corridor opened, bobcat sightings have risen 40%. Our trail cams show multiple generations moving through safely.
The corridor becomes a pilgrimage. Hikers pause at the sign, scanning the tree line for a glimpse of tawny fur.
I used to think the wild was indifferent. But this place, it's proof that what we do echoes.
The plaque reads, "In honor of a debt repaid. Because she remembered, we remember."
She taught me that kindness doesn't have a time limit. It just passes from one to the next.
From above, the protected corridor traces a green thread through the mountain. A lifeline carved by 1 man and 1 wild cat. The next spring, she appears again. Her cubs are fully grown, 2 tawny ghosts at her shoulder. They walk the corridor like they own it. At dusk, she crests the ridge and pauses. The notch catches the last light. A debt that began in wire ends in legacy. Dawn stains the corridor silver. Daniel walks alone, as he did years ago. But now the scar on his leg is only a memory. They shift, and the bracken stops him. 3 tawny shapes materialize from the tree line. A mother bobcat and 2 full-grown cubs. She halts. The V-shaped notch on her ear catches the low sun. Her amber eyes lock onto his. No fear, no threat, only a long, steady look.
It's you. After everything, You are still here.
He crouches slowly, making himself small, the same motion he used years ago when he cut her free from a snare.
I know you.
She blinks, slow and deliberate. A purr rumbles deep in her chest, the same sound that pulled him through the dark. Then she turns and pads away, cubs falling in behind. The trail swallows them into the green. Daniel stays crouched until the forest is silent again. A slow smile breaks across his face, the first since the cave. No words are needed. The debt was never meant to be collected, only carried forward. And she carried it until the end. Through summer, the corridor pulses with life. Deer and bobcat sharing the same path. Autumn gilds the signs with amber light. The plaque reads silently to every passerby. Winter lays a white blanket over the trail, but the cameras keep watching. When spring returns, tiny bobcat prints appear on the melting snow, a new generation. Daniel walks the corridor often now, a quiet presence among the trees. He tells the story to those who ask, but never speaks his own name. Only hers. The words, "I know," you become a quiet mantra among those who walk this ridge. What she carried forward, he carries forward. Debt transmuted into legacy. The plaque remains, a bronze whisper to the forest. And above the mountain, the sky turns, the same sky that once sliced through a cave. A young girl traces the bronze letters as her parents watch. She sounds them out slowly, a mile away. The old bobcat stretches in a patch of sun. Her notch catches the warmth. She blinks slowly. Daniel sits at his desk, the two framed photographs before him. The freed juvenile and the mother with her cubs. The old Instagram post still glows on his phone. The same scar, the same debt. He touches the glass. 4 words rest on his lips, a completed circle. Some debts cannot be paid. They can only be passed on. The corridor stretches into the ridge. A green thread woven from one act of mercy. And somewhere in the shadows, a bobcat walks on. Her cubs now grown, her debt already carried forward. The stone in the cave stands untouched, a marker, a whisper, a remembering. The mountain holds them both, the man and the bobcat. 2 lives that repaid each other without ever needing to understand why. Dusk settles over the corridor, painting the ridge in amber and violet. A breeze stirs the pines. The trail is empty. The world breathes. Somewhere far off, a bobcat's call echoes, a descendant of the debt, still walking. The plaque stands unseen now, a bronze whisper in the dark. She rests now. The old bobcat, with her notch, sleeps in the sun of another morning. Her cubs have cubs of their own. The line continues, unbroken, and Daniel walks the corridor still, a quiet guardian among the trees. The debt has become a covenant, written in the earth itself, in memory of unnamed debts repaid in the wild. And the debt passes into the wild, unnamed but never forgotten.